Hello and welcome back. So, I've started to work with the rampart in a bit more detail, as you can already tell. So, I thought it'd be kind of good to show you mid-process how we kind of eliminate our blocking out objects, so our geometry objects, such as this one, and start replacing them with real, actual meshes. So that what we start to see is something that looks more like a real place. Here I'm working with two different mesh libraries. I'm using Sunset and I'm using Modular Fantasy House. I found that using the Sunset library, which is on the Unreal Marketplace, I had a couple cool meshes that really worked well for my project, specifically the Castle Wall Small Gatehouse, which I stretched to kind of fit to my purposes, and these three meshes here, which are actually a chapel, but it represents um, the octagonal towers that surrounded Tour. So what we're going to do is we're going to really quickly demonstrate to you how we eliminate these blocking out objects and replace them with these meshes. So what I've already done is I've already kind of grouped together some of my wall meshes. And I've done this for one very important reason. If we look at our grid, we'll notice that our grid is going this way, but our wall is going this way. I highly encourage you when you're assembling something that's based on a real place, which is not going to align to a grid nicely, that you assemble everything in a 90-degree line. And then what you do is we'll just copy and paste this because I'm eventually going to use this for this wall here, and this wall here. I encourage you to assemble everything and then start to turn it to the position that you want. The reason why is because if you try to assemble everything on the actual unaligned grid, you'll find that your meshes will not line up correctly. And to get them to line up correctly, you're going to really struggle a whole bunch. So I encourage you to work with the mesh in a group setting and then break it down and adjust it minimally as you need to make it align based upon the real life scale. So what we're going to do now in this video is simply delete this mesh or this box here, this block, and we're going to replace it with this tower mesh to give the north side of the Westgate tower. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete that. It's now gone. Actually, we should probably leave it there just for the time being. What we're going to do is we're going to hold Alt and we're going to drag the green arrow in Unreal, and this is going to allow us to copy it. And this is going to create our north gatehouse on the west wall. Now we want to kind of get it into position. So when we blocked everything out, we were just trying to get it to line up where we estimated that our meshes would be, so that when we put our meshes in, we would know to kind of put them. It makes the whole process easier, and it's easier on your GPU because you can actually adjust things with much less memory being used. And as you can see, as simple as that, I was able to line up my northern gatehouse pretty well. There's a little bit of finagling that I'll need to do here, but for the most part, this is complete. And now, as you can tell, when I go into the play mode, it's starting to look much more like an actual city. And this is to scale. I have measured it up against the sources that are mentioned in the description below. And what we see is an actual gatehouse that you can walk through and two of the towers on this side of the rampart. What we're going to do in the next video is we're going to start working with replacing kind of this north-facing wall and make this place come a lot more to life.